Dana White addresses new UFC deal as exclusive negotiating window with ESPN is over. So things are happening right now in real time behind the scenes. Deals are being made, conversations are being struck, and I'm nervous. I'm as nervous as can be about this contract because ESPN isn't perfect, but I like my Saturday nights. And if anything changes, we'll have to adjust. Now, Dana White says when the window opens, we'll obviously start talking to lots of different people and we'll see what the options are out there. This is, at the UFC 314 post-fight press conference because he's being asked this because everyone knows the window uh, for exclusivity with ESPN is over in the coming days, and at this point, it is now over. So it's wide open. He goes on to say, "We've said this every time. There could be a time when we end up on several different networks like all other sports do." And I'm as nervous as can be. Number one, I haven't had cable since probably 2014, 2013, maybe even earlier than that. I mean, I've been on straight apps since that time. And if the UFC goes back to cable, that means I'm going to have to get cable. And I don't want to, I feel like that's going backwards. I don't want the UFC to end up on cable. So that's my biggest fear, is that happens. And then you got to go to like, let's just, we're just speculating here, but let's just say you got to go to Netflix to watch the Saturday night pay-per-view once a month. And then you got to go to TNT, uh, to watch two of the UFC fight nights each month, and then you got to go to Fox and watch two Fox Sports there and watch two that. It's just too much. Right now everything is on ESPN. They got all the stats there in real time. Okay. Yeah, like Dana White went on to say too, there was a shaky start there at the beginning, but right now everything is perfect. It's in motion, and there are tough times of the year, like when college football starts. Okay. Um, from the point where college football starts on Saturday nights in, let's just say, September, all the way till like right now when college basketball just ended, you're still getting a lot of views, but you're in competition with other sports. But now from April all the way to September, the UFC basically has free reign on the weekends. I mean, UFC's number one, and it's year round, and that's what makes it a possibility for Netflix, who does not want a regular sports network coming in, because then it's just like for 4 or 5 months of the year it's hot and then it's dead, and then you got to figure out what else to put on, right? It just doesn't work. UFC is year round like this, clockwork. So Netflix would like that. If Netflix got it, I could very easily see the UFC staying on Saturdays, but any number of things can happen, and we haven't been here since 2018 with the UFC. And I mean, you could end up with pay-per-views on Saturday nights. You could end up with UFC fight nights on a Tuesday, and then Thursday next week, and then Tuesday the following week, and it just anything can happen. And what I'm saying right now is, and this goes for coaching too. I'm a coach. I love all sports and will coach anything, but I especially love the sports that are like one game a week, right? Like football, track and field, and there's other sports that are like that too, but those are the two I can think of off the top of my head. Is it's like you can practice all week, boom, do the game, then you reset, you got a week of practice, then a game, and you get in a cycle of training that you can really build upon. That's what the UFC has been for me since 2018. Okay. So we know we got the fights on Saturday, we get the predictions done, and years later now, we're just in a perfect groove, and getting better and better at that, you know, week to week, getting ahead on. It's just been great that it's once a week. You can kind of reset and build back up. If they start going to multiple TV networks, multiple different days of fighting, um, I don't know if this is a great thing for the UFC. A lot more people are off on Saturday nights. I think Saturday night is the perfect night for the UFC the UFC has grown exponentially since being with ESPN. So, do you really want to, as much as everyone says, do you really want to take a chance and leave there and you don't know what's going to happen? You got new partners. And the thing is TKO is over UFC, right? And they've already uh, signed WWE to Netflix, but then you got to go see, and then it's confusing because WWE's on Netflix for Monday Night Raw, and then you got to go over here to watch the pay-per-view, uh, or not the pay-per-view, but like the WrestleManias, the SummerSlam, and see that all that moving around of different places. I'm not a big enough. I'm a fan of wrestling, but I'm not a big enough fan to where I'm going to be jumping to 8 different places to watch stuff, even if it's only two. And I fear that if the UFC does that, you're still going to have your hardcore fans like me follow you, but some of these casuals that you depend on that know, oh, okay, it's on ESPN tonight. They might even jump in for the last 3 fights or whatever. If it starts becoming in a bunch of different places, I think only the hardcore fans follow, and then you pick up a bunch of you expand the base, but do you expand the viewership? Maybe initially, yes, because it'll be heavily promoted. But after a while, it's like, a lot of people now have cable or don't. A lot of people that have cable don't really have the apps as much, especially the older generation. Um, the younger generation is mainly on the apps. So if you go to cable-based TV, are you going to lose the younger crowd? There's just so many things here to think about, and it will be interesting to see how this plays out. Like with WWE, okay, Mondays is on Netflix. Thursday Night Raw, I believe it's still Thursday night, or no, Monday Night Raw, Thursday Night SmackDown, and I think it's still on Thursday. If I'm wrong, then I just look crazy, but I don't follow it as much as the UFC. I don't even know where to go for Thursday Night SmackDown. I think it's still on USA, maybe, but you see all the problems with that. So like now I got to have uh, Netflix for Monday. I got to have, um, if it is USA Network on Thursday, and then I got to go over to this other network for Saturdays every once in a while, and it's just too much, man. And I understand that that's a way to make more money, but you know, someone like me, I'm not watching all the wrestling because of that. There's going to be, and I'm a casual wrestling fan. If it's big and it's in front of me, I'm going to watch it. If I have to go searching for stuff, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to probably put on a movie or some show and chill and watch that. So this is what I'm worried about when it comes to the UFC in terms of, yeah, you expand the fan base, but I think you lose a lot of people in the middle that are going to watch ESPN on some level. And I have a few friends that are like that, you know, like they may not watch the prelims every week, but they're going to jump in for the main card at some point. And, you know, if you got to have cable and 3 different apps and all this, I think there's going to be some of those people that would normally watch on ESPN that aren't going to watch because they're not just going to go searching for it like that. So and I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out, but I'm really worried about this one, man. I'm really worried about it.